Kanye's discovered you when you ran up on him at the radio station.
Yeah.
Now, what really made you decide that day to be like, okay, look, I'm going to stand in front of this station and I'm gonna hook up with Kanye?
Well, it was crazy because, like I was saying, I had a good relationship with the station from doing this show every Friday there called the Friday Night Cypher, where people would battle, and then the winners of the battle would get to go on air and rap. Like, they would pick like 6 people, and then we get to rap over the air for like 30 minutes over instrumental. So it was like good exposure. I did it every Friday for like over a year, so I built like good relationships. I would miss it some weeks, but for the most part, like almost every Friday.
So for a whole year, you were at the radio station. You were actually on the air.
Yeah.
Every Friday.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't realize that the grind that goes into this.
Oh, hell no, man. People think this shit is overnight, and it's not, man. And you have to have new verses every time. You have to be prepared to battle every week. It was a lot of work, especially for a kid in high school, And we had a girlfriend at that too and shit. So I did that for over a year. Got good relationships with the station, and that was every Friday night. So Kanye came on a Saturday morning, and I was there the night before. And that Saturday morning, I was at the bank cashing my like $100 check. I was a telemarketer. That shit was whack as fuck. It was the worst shit ever. And shout out to everybody who does that, cause that shit is hard, man. And my homie Said Ain't Tone called me, who's sitting right over there with the red hat. He called me and was like, man, yo, you listening to the radio? And I'm like, no. And he's like, man, Kanye playing this new album. We was in high school, this was late registration, so it was like 06. Kanye playing this album. Man, if you go out there and rap for him, man, he'll sign you. And I'm like, man, what the fuck you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But that idea was so inspiring that I like dropped everything I was doing. I didn't cash the check, man. I walked out the bank, went to my crib to grab a CD I was selling around high school, smashed down the freeway. My homie gave me some gas money to get there. Pulled up to the station, and since I was there last night, they let me in, and I made my way through the back offices.
So really, if you really think about it, the fact that you had put in a year worth of work at the radio station, was the reason you this happened, and you were able to come into the building. Radio stations, you can't just roll up into a radio station.
No, hell no. People don't understand that, man. One thing leads to another thing leads to another thing. Something that doesn't seem so big could be the biggest shit of your life without you even knowing, Man, that Friday Night Cypher was probably one of the biggest things in my life without me even knowing. And, I finagled my way in the back offices. I claimed I had to holler at a DJ. And then I hollered at the DJ, and the DJ was like, yo, you should go holler at Ye, he's right down the hall.
What a surprise.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I had my CD. And I made it past his security guard. I made it past his road manager. I got to shake Kanye's hand and was like, yo, man, I'm a kid. I do this show every Friday, man. I'm an aspiring MC. And he was like, man, that's what's up. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. I'm like, yo, he started walking away, and I tapped him again and was like, yo, can I rap for you? And he was like, man, I don't have time and shit, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, please, man, I ride to school listening to you, man. Like, you one of my heroes. Just let me spit something, And he was like, all right, man, you can spit 16 bars while we walking out the station.
Do you remember the bars?
No, I wish I did. Everybody asked me that.
You don't remember the bars?
No, I don't remember.
Damn.
But I started spitting them as we were walking out. And at first, he wasn't paying attention. But then as soon as we got to the entrance of the station, he stopped and started looking at me. And he started bobbing his head. And then he started saying, like, oh, shit. Or, like, I would do a punchline. He'd be like, oh, shit. And I was so nervous, I was rapping towards the ground, man. And that 16 bars ended up turning into, like, 10 minutes. And then I gave him my CD. And, it took even a couple years after that, though. That's just how it all started. After sending music back and forth, giving up so much shit. I gave up, like, a scholarship to college, to Michigan State. I graduated high school like a 3.7, man. I was like ready to go to college, party, smoke, fuck bitches. You know what I'm saying? And I gave all that up, man. And
roll the dice.
It was hard. It wasn't, and it's not even like, it wasn't easy at all, but it was definitely worth it. One Kanye story, man, when we were in Hawaii recently, like about a few months ago, he was making a beat. And it was like me, No ID. I think Jay-Z may have been in the room. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I think it was the same day Jay was there or something. And Kanye was making a beat, right? And everybody was just chilling, like, just peeping him make a beat. And he was making it, he was all into it, and then he stopped and was like, yeah, I know what you're thinking. He's making the Kanye West beat. I know, yes I am. You know, I was kind of like, everybody started cracking up because everybody was just kind of looking at him. And that shit was just funny as hell, you know, but he was doing it plain. You know, he meant it, but in the lightest sense of, you know, being playful and shit. He's not like a straight up asshole, like, he's really portrayed to be. I mean, that's his character, but he's really a super nice guy. For anybody he changed my life, man. He got me out the hood, you know what I'm saying? So you can't be an asshole and do that shit. To talk about the single, you know, my last, it's just, it's the first record off the, single off the album, and it's produced by No ID. And, you know, Chris Brown, how me and Chris Brown even met though was crazy, because I had a show out here at NYU. And he just popped up in my shit out of nowhere and was like, man, I'm Chris Brown, I fuck with your music heavy, you know, let's work. And I'm like, I thought he was bullshitting, but we got in the studio and knocked out like 5 songs. Then I let him hear my last, which is, you know, the song we got. And it was just all me at first. I was singing and shit. And he heard it and immediately was like, oh, hell yeah. You know, he hopped on it and he sounded a little bit better than me, man, just a little bit. But, you know, that's how it became the first single. And I'm just really excited about the album as a whole, man. There's so many different sounds on there. It's like, it's gonna be so relatable to people, man. People are gonna love that shit. I think it's gonna surprise the world. Just good ass raps mixed with like good ass concepts and just shit that doesn't necessarily follow the trends, you know.
Who are some of the people you collaborate with on this album?
Well, besides Chris Brown, you know, like Pharrell, Kanye, we got Pusha T on there. There's a lot of motherfuckers on there, man. You can get anybody on there, man. Everybody, you know, I'm cool with everybody in the game, so you never know. You can hear the Queen of England on there, man. You may hear Barack Obama on the intro or on the chorus. You may hear motherfucking Prince Charles kicking the rap, man. Whatever you hear is gonna be legendary, but most importantly, you're gonna get just the story of a kid who realized what he wanted to do in life, started doing it, started living out his dreams, falls in and out of love, goes through domestic love and shit, you know, and just parties, likes to get high, off life, and shit like that, man. It's gonna be something people can relate to. I just want people to walk away feeling like, man, this kid really followed his dreams, you know what I'm saying, and took that chance to follow his heart, because really, when you look back on life when you're 50, 60 years old, you don't want to look back wishing you woulda, coulda, shoulda, did some shit.